are from Group Green 1. Our topic is about third airport runway. Hong Kong International Airport has long considered as one of the best airports in the world. To accommodate its increasing passengers in the future, Hong Kong Airport authorities has decided to build a third runway to maintain its high standard of service. Although it brings economic benefit, it also brings about the environmental costs. So what are they?
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 2012 conference concerning building the third airport runway. We have representatives from different parties to discuss this issue. We have representative from Hong Kong SAR, Ms. Tan, representative from AAHK, Mr. Wong, and a professor in economics, Dr. Lee. Now we invite Ms. Tan to present the point of view from the government first.
On behalf of the Hong Kong government, we support on building the third airport runway based on the local economy and demand perspective. First, from economy objective, building the third runway not only generates income, which brings 167 billion Hong Kong dollars and stimulates the job opportunity, it also indirectly boosts its supporting industries such as tourism and construction industry. Second, dealing with the increasing air traffic demand and combination is our main focus. Under the saturated capacity in nowadays airport runway services, it is undoubtedly that there is an urgent need to build an extra runway in hopes of fulfilling the progressively increase in air traffic demand in the near future. Therefore, we undoubtedly uphold the policy of building the extra runway.
Undoubtedly, the project of third runway would bring a certain degree of harm to the natural habitat. However, we are trying to minimize the effect to the environment too. We put 1/5 of our budget, which is approximately $16 billion, in building up green features. We minimize the negative effects to the nearby marine habitats by practicing deep semen mixing and avoid dredging below the seawalls. And most importantly, we plan our location of third runway where rarely discovered Chinese white dolphins. We try our best to avoid disturbance to the natural habitat. And also, the government is going to set up more protected marine area in order to compensate the effects derived from the project. We all know that everything has their pros and cons. What we are trying to do is to minimize the negative effects and at the same time maximizing the social benefits. Just bear in mind, nothing is perfect.
The third runway brings different benefits to us. First, it makes us competitive to the flags bought by other countries. The flags includes the building of third runway in Bangkok, the future expansion of Singapore Airport, and the third terminal in Taipei, and etc. So it is urgent for us to build the third runway in Hong Kong in order to remain our position as an international transport hub. Second, each flight in third runway contribute around 400,000 Hong Kong dollars to the economy, and it will also bring 141,000 employment opportunity to Hong Kong, and it is much more than the current employment level, which is only 65,000.
By raising hands, yes, you can speak now.
I'm the representative from the WWF. We are disappointed with AAHK's lack of neutrality during its public consultation. A large amount of resources were used to promote the need for the third runway. We find it unacceptable that the AAHK deliberately trivialized the impact on Chinese white dolphin by altering the distribution map of Chinese white dolphin published by the Agricultural, Fisheries and Conservation Department without authorization. A large part of Hong Kong ocean would be permanently gone if the proposal were carried out. Since the third runway system will require about 650 hectares of land reclamation, the reclamation work will increase the sediments in the water and decrease the amount of dissolved oxygen. The third runway project will generally worsening the water quality. The aviation industry accounts for around 4% of Hong Kong's total carbon emission. For carbon dioxide that is emitted at high altitudes, the resultant greenhouse effect is much greater than that emitted at ground level. However, AHK spared no paragraph on explaining the project increase in carbon emission in the consultation documents. Also, these figures do not take into account the additional road traffic that a busier airport would generate. All cargo must be delivered in digital power trucks, while large number of passengers come by taxi or bus, both of which have high nitrogen oxide signatures. Please take my opinions into consideration. Thank you.
I'm going to interview some of the residents in Tung Chung. Do you agree with the third runway project?
I totally disagree to it, and let me pick the mic. I live in Tung Chung. My family and I have already suffered the loudest and the poor air standard. You know, I heard that after the construction have been finished, Tung Chung's air standard will be over the safety standard. And residents' health will not be guaranteed. Who care about us? So sad. More, because the poor air standard makes Tung Chung being not suitable to live. This will definitely lower the value of the property. You know, I'm one of the owners. Are the airport and government gonna compensate my loss?
I live in Tuen Mun. Actually, I oppose the construction of the third runway. As you can see, even there are only 2 runways now, but the noise pollution in Mile 1 resulted from the flights affect the residents there so much. Hence, the third runway is located at the north of the airport. So after the construction of it, Tuen Mun must become what Mile 1 acted before, and we have to tolerate the noise pollution. Hardly can my family and I can have a nice dream in the future. As the government has promised to us that they will take some action to alleviate the problem or as a compensation, but as you can see, they haven't taken any action until now.
Actually, I found the airport's third runway project is beneficial for both society and my family. And my father and uncles always have business travel, and if the third runway is built up, congestion and the delay of aircraft can be avoided. Also, we have more choices of flights. It was really more inconvenient than before, and my father and uncle can enjoy a more comfortable trip. The most important point is that if every air flight will not be delayed, their working schedules can be go successfully. Some investment will also spend on cooperating, building and maintaining more efficient facilities. This helps promoting the free flow of goods and capital. Therefore, why don't we support this airport third runway project?
我是从北京来的，我好喜欢来香港来逛街啊。如果第3跑道真的落成呢，就很方便我每天过来啊。你看，我才买了一个 iPad， 好开心哦。 不跟你聊了，我还买香奈儿，拜拜。
The creation of third airport runway could create more than 200,000 of job opportunities to the economy. For example, flight attendants, sales service, and also the construction workers. Not only on the Hong Kong economy, but also on the business growth. So, from the point of view of a business person, I strongly agree on the proposal of third airport runway.
So, what is your opinion on the third airport runway?
I'm the representative of Greenpeace, a non-profit organization. We strongly oppose to the construction of the third runway. We concern the biosphere level most. The Chinese white dolphin is a precious species and is facing the threat of extinction. Yet, the location of the proposed third runway is at the heart of 3 dolphin hotspots, namely Sha Chao, Long Ku Chao, Southwest Lantau, and Brothers Islands. A new runway would firstly create a physical barrier in the water, disrupting dolphin activities and movement between the important habitats. Secondly, it is likely that the marine environment adjacent to the airport will become even more congested. I wish the responsible parties would take these factors into consideration.
先生，你支唔支持機場第三跑道呢個方案啊？
我梗係唔支持啦！我係嚟自南丫島嘅漁夫，咁你知唔知道啊？喺嗰個死人乜鬼嘢第三跑道，嗰啲填海嗰啲垃圾啊、石頭全部倒晒南丫島啲海嗰度，咁南丫島啲水質又差咗咯，啲魚仔咧又冇飯食喎，咁樣我哋啲漁夫啲漁網啊，都俾嗰啲爛石頭啊整到爛鬼晒。咁樣生活成本又大咗，揾嘢錢又少咗，咁我哋點維持生計啊？點會贊成呢個咁嘅計劃啊？
Our program has quoted some recommendations suggested by green economics experts, and we have taken reference to the solution adopted by other countries. So we have the following suggestions.
In short run, the first solution is to use less toxic or non-toxic materials for the reclamation. By importing some new construction technology for reclamation from the other countries, try not to stir the toxic materials in seabed, and more green features to be included. Also, the government should set up law regulation in order to settle the problem.
Secondly, we can employ a third-party consultancy company to evaluate the advantages and areas for improvement in order to minimize any biasing effect. The airport authority should include professionals from different perspectives. So, it could be the balance between different areas and interests for various groups of people.
In the long run, we should first set up marine ecological park in other unaffected areas to provide alternative habitats for marine animals. The construction of the third runway alters the habitats of the marine animals like Chinese white dolphin. The government should plan to implement a migration for them. Marine parks and natural reserves should be provided for them to regenerate. Also, an appropriate compensation scheme should be adopted too.
Finally, the government should improve the road design and also regulate the manufacturer to refine the airplane design prototype in order to reduce the noise pollution and air pollution cost. Therefore, the social cost and disturbance to the surrounding environment can be minimized.
Hong Kong undeniably has the need to keep its pace with the fast-changing global world. After investigating all agreements from the three core spectrums, the proposal of third airport runways brings both advantage and disadvantage to our society as a whole. Indeed, what should we do is to strike a balance between environment and economic goal that effects possibly caused by the extra airport runway. Environment should be no matter how well preserved. The solutions developed will keep an eye on the environmental issues in order to minimize the possible environmental damage once the third runway is built. All in all, satisfying both the economic and environmental needs is not an easy task. Balancing the effects from both sides, and we will find the best solution.